Alright, so I met Quinn during cross-institutional studio crits that I run between National Arts School, UNSW and SCA. And I've seen Quinn's practice from the very early stages, from the first year of her MFA, right now to as she's graduating, and her graduation show is going to be the 2nd of November on Thursday. So Quinn's practice, it's a hybrid of word puzzles, colourful collages, and these references to internet culture, and the art materials themselves. They have various craft-like materials. So you've got paper craft, you've got rhinestones, you've got glitter glue, and mostly predominantly a painter, but I approached Quinn and gave her the prompt of trying out textures for this show, and Quinn already kind of has a palette that matches textures. So Quinn, I want to start by asking about your relationship with art materials and your approach to trying out textures in your practice more generally.
Yeah, I've always felt drawn to bright artificial colours, and I like a lot of novelty in my practice. So while I mainly paint, I like trying out different materials and using a variety of things to stimulate my mind. Like, so I collect stickers, I have crystals, I have lots of different colours of paper. And recently for the show, I just started doodling with textures a little bit, and I developed this work, the Find a Word.
And Scramble was a piece that she developed collaboratively with her mum helping out, but also myself, Jeremy and Jake in the show, and we had a Find a Word competition during the night. So how did you find that social exchange and getting to watch people just pick apart your drawing?
It was really satisfying, but also, I mean, I've made other interactive works where people, like I made one with forms where people were signing slips, and like honestly, like it was exciting watching people, but it wasn't that exciting because they were mostly just standing there and focusing intensely on the word. But I could see the brains churning inside their head. Yeah, as they worked on the puzzle. I also really liked the element of the prize. So we had a few attendees who are really competitive, and yeah, and there were some people who spent a lot of time figuring out the words.
So for me, the communal drawing aspect was super relaxing and really touching to see everybody get in on the opening night as well and participate in the drawing table.
Yeah.
With there being a line to participate on the communal drawing table. So the current version of the drawing table has a lot of your contributions. And how did you personally find the communal drawing experience?
It was really good on opening night. We had like 10 people on the table. All the chairs were filled up. Like I found a lot of the younger people really liked drawing, but I've had people of all different ages come in and draw there. Yeah, like I personally really like to doodle. Yeah, and I find that drawing is a good way of expressing myself and just getting out whatever I have in my mind out on a page, and also experimenting with different visual concepts.
And you also had, I think for the first time, people colouring in your own practice and choosing their own colour palettes. So this Anxious Kitty work is part of our colouring book / catalogue essay. And how did you find other people approaching your own line work and filling it in, and their own colour choices?
I really liked that. I found it very interesting. I mean, out of the ones I've seen, there's one where the kitty is really, like it's yellow. It's got a lot of yellow and green, and every time I see that one, I think that poor cat looks really sick. Like it looks sick in bed. Yeah, and there's another one where the cat is brown and the person scribbled outside the lines of it, and on the top they wrote a note about how when they were a kid their sister was really anal about colouring in the lines.
And they defied it very much.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Anxious Kitty a little bit more. So the cat obviously being kind of a mascot for the internet, but it also reminds me of those 80s posters that you see, those hang in there, kitty, don't quit kind of posters where the cat's dangling for its life. So this work you see here, I guess it's having a bit more of an internal struggle. So my first question with Anxious Kitty is, could you walk us through some of the cryptic words that you've produced, but also approaching the cute in your practice and how that's able to open up various avenues for you?
Yeah. Should I go? I can go through the words.
Go
Yeah.
the words.
So it starts off fairly easy. It goes concerned with the state of things. That S is part of things, and then it goes, but I'm okay. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that going back.
There's some back and
linguistic
forth.
leaps that you have to do, and
Yeah.
that's something that you've got in other paintings of your practice. What is it about the word jumble that you like? Because I remember during the studio crits, it was kind of this prolonged sounding out, trying to figure out how the phrases and different letters arrange each other.
I feel like it kind of just turns out like that, because sometimes like I don't really plan where I'm going to put the words, so I start writing them and then I go, I can't write all of state there, it can just go down and around, and eventually I realized you can kind of just go around and you can put them wherever you want. I think after I went to art school, I started drawing in a much more loose way, and I feel like I like this freedom, but I also like the symbolism in the jumbled language, because I feel like I don't know, I find myself quite scattered sometimes, and it feels like my brain is alphabet soup. Yeah. So I feel like the words being all messed up, it represents that feeling when you don't you just have a lot going on. You're not sure. I feel like it's like going into a pond and plucking out fish.
No, that's a really cool way to think about it. And your MFA thesis largely looked at ideas of childhood, cuteness, and coming of age. In your practice, it's the kind of instability of judgment and looking at things like inner power and impulses. I think text as being quite a good medium to kind of be a conduit for that. So can you speak to the language of cuteness a little bit more in your practice?
So in my paper, I discuss cuteness, but I look at cuteness and power. And so there's this theorist, Sayan Nai, and she talks about cuteness as an aesthetic where our response to the cute object is determined by the imbalance of power between us and the object. So it's like you go into a shop and you see a teddy bear, and it's like the teddy bear is like it's all small and squishy and it has a smile on its face, and it's cute because it's completely harmless and like it's very approachable. And often cute objects are soft and squishy, so they have this ability to be deformed and to be subject to violence, but also they can bounce back from that. So according to Sayan Nai, the cute, she's interested in the cute because it's also a bit of an underlooked aesthetic compared to such as like ones like beauty or the sublime, but she feels like it has a lot of interesting affective qualities in how we respond to it and in how we interact with it. And I guess in my practice, like cute objects are usually associated with childhood. And so I like cute things, and I think I always will. Like I find them comforting. I know a lot of people like find cute and tactile things comforting, and I think because we live in an age of anxiety and insecurity right now. Like I see that as it kind of talks about the bridge between going from childhood into young adulthood, and the skills that you have to develop to be able to cope with life and build resilience.
And you've also got a performance-based practice. How does that come into play when looking at those aspects of becoming one's own coming of age?
Yeah, so my performance artwork is about, it's this work where I become a businessman. It's very different, but I see it as like I really lean into the stereotype of like the corporate hustle guy. And so I'll be debuting that work at the grad show where...
What's the name of the individual?
Oh, his name is Bernard Chan. Yeah. And so it's kind of a play on my name, which is Quinn Chen, but instead he's Bernard Chan. So it's similar but different. And so he's selling a product which is meant to motivate you and keep you focused and on track, and help you succeed and make a lot of money.
So for your next steps as an artist, do you have any plans, or do you have a way to kind of meld Bernard's world with your own, or are they separate entities?
Yeah, in my thesis, I talk about them as two parts of one whole, and so the overall project is called Office/Home. And so the work in my studio, it's mostly painting work. A lot of it is text, and a lot of it addresses like an inner conflict between impulse and like agency, and it kind of deals with themes of coming of age and cuteness, insecurity, and power/powerlessness. Whereas Office is my work as Bernard Chan, and it's a different feeling. It's got a feeling of confidence.
He's in debt, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in debt, but you're not supposed to know that. Yeah, yeah. He keeps it under the rug. Yeah, well, he has to. He's invested a lot into his business, and so he really needs to move some stock. And he genuinely believes in it. He has no other choice.
So he's doomed to repeat that cycle. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, round of applause.